Hello everyone, it's Rayna. Who hasn't heard at least once in their life that if you don't love yourself, you can't be loved? Or if you love yourself, then it shows others how to love you? Or if you don't love yourself, how do you expect others to love you? That last one is my favorite. Well, let me tell you, I used to believe this theory and it even got me traumatized. Today I can say that I absolutely disagree with this belief, and in this video I will tell you why. But before we move on, if you haven't still subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel and make sure to click on the notification bell so you won't miss when I upload a new video. If you follow me here and on Instagram, you probably already know that I've been through depression and I've had really low self-esteem for quite a long period of time. Even today, I sometimes catch myself that I fall back to my old mindset, lack of confidence, lack of self-trust, and lack of self-love. There was a time when I was single and unhappy about it. Side note, being single isn't necessarily a source of unhappiness. There are plenty of people who prefer to be single and are perfectly happy about it. And that's absolutely fine. I'm just saying that in my situation, I wasn't happy about it. I was really desperate for love, but at the same time, I wasn't really loving myself. And I started to believe that this explains that. If I don't have a happy, healthy relationship, it's because I don't love myself. Problem is that traumatized me, really. I started to tell myself that it was my fault. I was responsible for not being in a relationship because I don't love myself. Now, I used to suffer from a huge lack of self-esteem for numerous reasons, being bullied at school, depression, and so on and so on. Lack of self-esteem oftentimes comes hand in hand with lack of self-love. You might start thinking you're not worthy of love, of happiness, etc., etc. However, what you need to understand is that when someone is lacking self-esteem and self-love, they have been traumatized in the past. By what? It doesn't really matter. Point is, this person has been through some sort of trauma in their life that has negatively impacted their emotional stability, which has negatively impacted their self-love. In other words, someone who's suffering is in a great need of love, precisely because they're unable to love themselves. This is why it is so important to surround yourself by a strong and loving support system when you are dealing with emotional or mental health issues. So, thinking that you can't be loved by someone because you are not loving yourself is so destructive to one's already fragile emotional stability. Yes, if you are suffering and if you feel that you are not loving yourself, I'd strongly recommend therapy in order to deal with whatever you're going through. But please don't believe in the stigmatizing sentence, if you don't love yourself, how do you expect others to love you? Now, I'm really not a specialist, but such a sentence inflicts so much guilt to an already suffering mind. Maybe it is the other way around. Allow others to love you so that they can show you how much they value you and maybe teach you how to love yourself. I'll give you my example. I met my boyfriend 3 years ago exactly, when I was still regularly going to therapy. I was still taking antidepressants and was regularly having panic attacks. We met online. By the way, the story of how we met is quite funny. We were chatting for weeks and we liked each other a lot. And when we met for the first time in person, I told him about my depression so that he knows what he's getting involved with. He then told me that it didn't bother him. He will be there for me, helping me, supporting me, and my battles. In other words, my boyfriend liked and loved me during my darkest period of life, when I wasn't loving myself, when I didn't even believe I deserved to be loved. Yet, he was by my side and he still shows me how much he loves and supports me. He even says quite often, I wish you could see yourself through my eyes so that you could love yourself the way I love you. Or if you only could love yourself at least half the way I love you. He is still teaching me how to love myself even today, which is why I wanted to make this video in the first place and tell you my story, really. If you don't love yourself right now, that's okay, but please don't get stigmatized by your weakness, which is temporary and curable. Please seek professional help, but also allow yourself to be loved. Maybe that's the key to self-love. That was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope I gave you hope and helped you see things from a different perspective. Please let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts or experience about this topic? Also, please give me a thumbs up so you can support me and my work. I will see you next week for a new video, and until then, take care of yourselves both physically and mentally. Bye!